A statue of George Washington in Baltimore was vandalized with red paint over the weekend as protesters from across the country have been pulling down or vandalizing Confederate statues. Now they've turned their attention to statues that honor people who owned slaves before the Civil War. WMAR News' Mark Roper is near that George Washington statue in Druid Hill Park. Mark, does it look like there's been any effort to clean up that statue as of yet?
Good morning, Christian. Not as of yet, but, George Washington fought against the redcoats, as we all know, and now it is still covered with a coat of red paint. We've seen similar scenes like this in cities across the country as protests against racism and police brutality continue in the wake of George Floyd's death. Here in Baltimore at the George Washington Memorial and Statue in Druid Hill Park, you can see how it's been vandalized with red paint and the words "Destroy Racist" written at the base, along with the initials for Black Lives Matter movement. The protesters have damaged or toppled statues and monuments to Confederate soldiers and slave owners across the country within the last month since the protest began. And back in 2017, Baltimore officials removed 4 Confederate monuments overnight after a white supremacist and neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville, Virginia turned violent. One counter-protester was killed. Meanwhile, Baltimore Block, a Baltimore-based group which describes itself as building a grassroots collective of friends, families, and neighborhoods united to decolonize and organize, posted several tweets about the damage to the George Washington statue and other monuments on Twitter over the weekend. In one it reads, "Mayor Young is worried about the cost to remove them. We know plenty of people willing to do it free of charge." In another tweet it reads, "We don't think these Columbus monuments have much time left anymore. 72 hours sounds like plenty of time for y'all to take them down. Can't guarantee they'll be standing after that." Now, we drove by the Columbus statue on President Street just a few days ago, and it was still there. And as you can see from the George Washington statue here, it is still standing. And as of this morning, still covered in red paint. We are live in Druid Hill Park. Mark Roper, WMAR2 News.